My approach to the zombie apocalypse theme is to be different. I want to be different than everybody else and give my readers something they haven't seen before. And the biggest is that I have intelligent survivors. I get so tired of reading and watching zombie movies and books that they are the dumbest people on the planet. And it's like, how are these people still alive? So I put out there some very intelligent characters to see how they deal with the process. And in fact, they have a camp with electricity from a hydroelectric dam. They don't let anybody into the base without being searched head to toe to make sure there's no bites. And they don't crash cars on roads that have nothing on them. And so that's the biggest thing. There's still plenty of dangers in a zombie world when you do have intelligent survivors, but the fact that their camp is safe because they take the right precautions and they go after the right needed supplies. They go after what they need to have a strong fence and have animals that they can tend to and take care of and all that. And then there's other drama. There's plenty of crazy people out there in the zombie apocalypse, but I think that's the biggest is I want to have intelligent survivors and see what they can do in that situation. I've read quite a few articles on why zombies have become so popular over the last few years. And of course, one of the biggest is we want change. We want a strong, definitive change. For whatever reason, we want that change. Politics, we're tired of the same old, same old. Maybe we need a strong change. Maybe we need the cell towers to go down so we actually stay away from our phones. So yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with a lot that was in the article and how it started off being nuclear. I mean, that was the world forever was the Russians are going to nuke us. We've got to stop the nuclear bomb with a second to remain. And now that that's gone, what's left? And I don't think zombies are going anywhere. They're a strong fear, and they are also, if you take vampires, vampires have become all sexy, and werewolves don't seem to punch up very much. But zombies, they create a fear in us that doesn't seem to want to go away. I changed my background for this one instead of my zombie wall in my writing office. Just so you know, in case of survival needs, swords don't work too bad. Gives you some reach, keeps you at a distance, but I think you've got to have people in your group when you have survivors that know some first aid, know how to use a gun, hotwire a car, know how to get supplies, and aren't afraid to do the most important thing, and they may have to put down grandma. I think that's why we as a society will succumb to the zombie virus. We won't be able to shoot our loved ones once they've been bit. And you've got to have somebody in the group that's willing to do that. I hate to say that, hate to be that way, but it's the only way people are going to survive. But also, if you think about it, I mean, people will be out for themselves. And sad to say, the last couple of weeks in this country, we've seen that people in survival mode buy not the most useless item, but they don't buy what they really need to survive. I mean, that's why there's no toilet paper. When I write to impact my readers, I'd always wanted to write because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a published author. And I don't know that I have some strong, deep impact with my zombie writing that I want some glorious Nobel Peace Prize winning philosophy. But my newest work is about a detective in 1923. He happens to be a dwarf, kind of like Gimli from Lord of the Rings meets Sam Spade dwarf. And in this kind of mesh of fantasy meets prohibition, we have a character who served during the Great War. And he comes back with shell shock. Well, in 1923, you manned it up. You didn't deal with it. I mean, people just like, you go, the war's over, you're fine. And I feel like we still very much face that today. We still treat people with PTSD like they should just man up and get over it. And through that story, I'm hoping to bring some awareness about that. I really am, because it's a condition that is still being ignored. I know there are people that would argue with that, but I don't. I don't see it. I don't think that we are out there helping these people with this mental condition to get better, and that's something that needs to be done. So I'm hoping through that story, not only is it a fun read and entertaining, but it brings about some of the awareness of people that suffer from mental illness, but especially PTSD. My plans for my writing future are to, I've got, of course, my detective story coming out next, and I'd like to write another one of those. I already have another idea. I want those to be a standalone series. Or each book to be a standalone book, sort of like Agatha Christie novels, where we have the same detective and he has a new adventure each time. We may see some reoccurring characters, but you could pick up book 3 and not be lost. Where my zombie series, you've got to start with book 1, and I hope later this year to finish book 4. It's about 75% done, and then sometime down the road finish book 5, because I've always intended that to be a 5-book series. I have a completed draft of a vampire novel, which I will rewrite later this year, and then move that towards editor, a professional editor. Then I have a military story I'm writing, and I want to write another serial killer novel. They are fascinating characters to write about, and very they go some very, very dark places. And I've also got an opportunity to write another movie later in the year, so we'll see what happens. But always be writing. But we'll see. What the vampire novel should be after the detective story, and then we'll see where we stand after that. But I want to get that book 4, that zombie series, out because it is so popular.